Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started with my lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying and to the point. Alright, just a little quick hit. Alright, and it's basically going into the brotherhood. Alright, and how we should be joint at the hip. Alright, considering the times that we're in. Alright, I believe it's important to build a relationship with the brother or brothers that you're next to. Alright, to put aside your differences. Alright, and come to the terms that we need each other, and that we're pretty much all that we got. All right, so let me start here. All right, this is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25:1, and it says, "In three things I was beautified and stood up beautiful, both before God and men: the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together." So, basically it's a beautiful thing, all right, for brothers to be in unity. All right, as the scriptures say, how can two walk together except they be agreed? All right, and a lot of people, or should I say a lot of these other camps, all right, a lot of them are not even in agreement. A lot of them that try to do these unity camps, a lot of them, they don't even agree on the same things. All right, so how precious is it, all right, to have a brother that thinks the same way that you do spiritually. All right, as the scriptures say, like Yahweh Shai. All right, they're one. All right, and just like the title of the lesson, being joint at the hip, you're almost being like you're one. All right, scriptures also speak about how, all right, each brother is likened unto a body, or a part of the body. All right, and each part has its own function, its own purpose, and that in order for a body to work correctly, it needs all its parts. You need, you have your hand, you have your bones, you have your muscles, your tissues, all right, your tendons, all right, all of these things, all right, function your hand, all right, or any other body part that you might have. All right, even me, when I'm talking, you have your throat muscles. All right, you have your voice box, as they say. All right, so these different things work and benefit for the body to work correctly. And how beautiful is it, all right, that brothers be in one accord. All right, they be joint as the hip, as the title of the lesson says. All right, they're in agreement, they're not in disagreements, although disagreements may come. All right, so let me get that in the G&T. It says, "There are three things in which I take special delight, things that are beautiful to the Lord and people alike: brethren who get along with each other, neighbors who are friends, and a married couple who are happy together." So you're gonna have your disagreements. All right, you're gonna have your arguments or whatever the case may be, but ultimately you put those things aside, and you realize that y'all have a common denominator, which is the truth. All right, the truth should really be the only thing that matters. Who cares if you may disagree with not liking the same team, or I like smoothies, but this brother like cold pressed drinks, or he like the color blue, but I like the color purple. Just stupid little things that don't have any relevance or any importance. The main thing is that y'all agree about the truth. Everything else is pretty much vanity and pointless. So let me get this real quick. The next scripture. This is Proverbs 17:17. It says, "A friend loveth at all time, and a brother is born of adversity." That's right. So a brother is born in adversity. A brother see you going through things. All right. He's there to help you. All right. Go through those things, whatever the case may be, through his experiences. You're able to help that brother with things that he may go through. All right. Or things that he may have gone through, and you help that brother out. That's the adversities. All right. As well as the rebukes. That's also important. Scriptures speak about how, open rebuke is better than secret love. So through those different things, you build a special bond with each other. All right. And there's a saying that says, all right, no discord, no concord. All right. And I have the meaning right here. It says no discord, no concord is an old Chinese saying that basically means no conflict, no true friendship. See that? No conflict, no true friendship. No true friendship. All right. When I was a kid, all right, I remember, people saying, and even now, people still say this saying is that, when two younger kids, they fight when they're young, or they get into a fight, a fist fight or whatever, or whatever the case may be, they turn out to be the best of friends, and that's very much true. All right, let's see. It has a little bit more on this. All right, it says no discord, no concord. It says, it's saying that without going through some friction, arguments, or disagreements first, you rarely build a deep connection, a deep lasting connection. The tough moments test people, and if you get through, I'm driving. It says, if you get through them, that's when real trust and the closeness forms. That's why some people say fighting as kids can actually make siblings or friends tighten in the long run. All right, which is very true, man. All right, so, through all the things that you go through with brethren, all right, that should strengthen, all right, your relationship. All right, these people in the world that you've had relationships with, whether it be your cousins, your different family members, or so-called associates or friends in the world, y'all have had y'all disagreements. All right, and I'm pretty sure, you have them still as friends. So what more, all right, a brother who thinks like to you, thinks has, or should I say, have the same mindset as you, man. All right, let me get this real quick. This is Proverbs 18:24, and it says, a man that have friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. All right, so a brother gonna stay. Being in a brotherhood, you have to stay together through thick and thin, man. All right, may even have to come to to the may even have to come to a point to where you have to even possibly even live with a brother because of thinking about how the scriptures speak about how things are going to be rough out here. All right, or living in the wilderness together, or whatever the case may be. You ought to think that, okay, I need to know this brother for real. I need to know what this brother likes. All right, what is this brother interest? Okay, shit. If y'all fellowshipping with brothers, the brother asks you to make him a plate. You know what the brother like. You know what the brother like and what he don't like. All right, you may be out and you may see something in particular that the brother's in. You might grab it and pick it up or whatever the case may be. A brother might like to cook. You might get him something. All right, and in remembrance to that, while you out and about, that's what real and true friendship is. All right, doing things without hesitation. Truly. All right. How that scripture says, treating your brother like you would treat yourself. So helping a brother out the way you would want to be helped out yourself, as if you were helping yourself. So let me get this last one real quick. All right, this is 1 John chapter 4, verse 20, and it says, if a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that hateth not, for he that hateth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he have not seen? All right, so your brother's in the front of you, man. We're literally many Yahushais. All right, we believe that we speak the testimony of Yahushai through the spirit of Yahushai. All right, Abaratazal, we have that number. You see your other brother preaching in that same spirit, so we ought to treat the brother the same. All right, we're all trying to basically walk and trying to perfect ourselves as our big brother. All right, so we ought to treat, each other as such. All right, we ought to teach. We ought to treat each other. All right, as many Yahushais, as if you were talking to Yahushua himself. All right, the kingdom is within you. All right, as the scriptures say. So, that's a very deep point of view to look at it as, man. We are the kingdom. The body is the kingdom. So, if you say you want the kingdom, but you don't want a relationship with a brother, you want to be unity in the brother, do you really want the kingdom? Nope. So, that's just something to think in mind. So, I think I've made the point. Aparatazai was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushua Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Until the next time, Lord willing, I say shalom.